presenting Sreekanth Arimanithaya, the global talent leader at EY's Global Delivery Services and its GDS Enablement Services leader. In his role as global talent leader, Sri is leading and driving the complete reimagination of talent initiatives, enabling improved partnership with the business. He is well versed in mergers and acquisitions, talent integration, leadership development, HR shared services, HR analytics, and change management. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sreekanth.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Hope all of you are keeping yourself safe and healthy. I'm very delighted to be with you in the next 30 minutes, sharing the importance of HR compliance in driving corporate excellence. So before I get into the topic of the day, I would like to share a couple of thoughts which is very important for us to really understand the significance of compliance in an organization. In my 27 years of career, working for many organizations such as Toyota, GE, Computer Science Corporation, DXC, and now with EY, I strongly believed as a leader, 3 or 4 things are very, very important. One is, as a leader, you need to demonstrate highest level of values and ethics. You need to ensure that your organization and team follows the ethical practices and highly compliant with the rules of the country or rules of the nation. The values, ethics, risk, compliance, normally when you look at any organization, the leaders really ensure that this is the primary part of their leadership responsibility. And I have seen also in my career, people ignore it, not paying enough attention, or they feel it's not my job, and they have to pay a huge penalty at some point of time. Every organization, when it comes to talent or human resources, the chief human resource officer need to play 3 important roles. He or she is responsible for managing the employee life cycle. I call it as manage. The second one, he or she is responsible for governing. Ensure that the investment in talent and human resources continue to provide superior results to the organization. And the last one is secure. The CHRO need to ensure that the organization is secured from risk and compliance related matters. So CHRO's job is to manage, govern, and secure an organization. So I'm very delighted to share a couple of my thoughts and my experience in challenges in managing compliance for a multinational organization. So let me first set the context before I deep dive into the changing platform of compliance and how we need to cope up with the fast changing landscape of compliance. So if you really look at any organization, there are a couple of things organization need to focus on. Especially COVID has accelerated certain trends that are shaping the context of organization. Every organization today revisiting their strategy, they are relooking at their organizational capability and reprioritizing their resource allocation in such a difficult time. One of the better questions I always ask my leaders, COVID definitely has separated us physically. Many of you have not met your colleagues, relatives, and friends for many months. But although it's physically separated us, it psychologically brought us together. Today, I know my team and my family members much better than which I used to. So COVID has taught us many good lessons in life, and we should really look at the emerging trends in compliance with an accelerated context of COVID. So the primary forces today every organization is facing are around technology. And you might have heard how talent is adopting technology, AI, ML, cloud, data analytics, gamification, automation, IoT, and many things are changing the way business are driving results. And it also has challenged the compliance The more and more technology adoption an organization do it, they need to be aware with the risk what technology brings, and we need to really complain about the risk and the ethical dilemma an organization is going through. The demographies are changing very fast. Aging populations, declining birth rates, Gen Z and immigration is changing an organizational structure as well as the challenges. Globalization, the nationalism, populism, protectionism, and shifting poles of geopolitical power and spheres of influence really making us more and more alert on the need to be better vigilant when it comes to compliance. The environment, a lot of focus is now on the environment, climate changes, rising sea levels, water and food system stress. There are a lot of complaints are coming around environmental issues, and organizations need to pay sufficient attention as well as ensure that we meet the challenges around environment. Consumer and society is changing fast. Work and life unbounded today. Distance interactions, remote work, contingent workforce, deurbanization, lifelong learning become new norm. Mindful consumption. Today, all of us as a better citizen, very concerned about what we consume and how we consume and how much we consume. Demand for clean, green, and safe products, supply lines, and plant based meat and everything is getting more and more attention than ever before. Wealth and income inequality is increasing. Tax reforms based solutions, minimum wages, universal basic incomes, and investments in education become more focused. The business itself is changing. Digitalization. Digitalization is transforming new business models, new products and services, and new delivery models are coming every day, challenging the risk and the complaints around that. Rapid innovation. Today, organizations are rolling out new products and services on a daily basis. The time to market has significantly reduced. Globalization transformed the trade, the supply chain, and diversification and resilience. Trust become more and more questioned and more important for organization. Delivery of trusted interactions and transactions are more important. And there are a lot of risk and complaints around the topic of trust. Decarbonization. I spoke already about environment. Organizations are putting more governance and statutes to ensure that carbon neutrality, sustainability, and energy mix shifts and geoengineering are getting more and more important. Stakeholder capitalism, delivering long-term value, expand corporate reporting, and you have seen many industrial and corporate frauds in many years, and more education, more and more rules and regulations are coming in terms of corporate governance and how do you create a long-term value for our stakeholders and shareholders. The government is become more and more active because of the complexity happening in the business. Government takes center stage today, and we see stimulus and improving social safety nets, more private public partnership, rising global uh, public debates, and small and smart cities are become norms today. Regulatory uncertainty, big tech regulation, digital cross border trade, digital economy, taxation, continued audit scrutiny. Resilient healthcare, more and more importance to healthcare systems, and a lot of governance and compliance are formed around health of an employee and health of the community. So we as talent professionals need to pay attention to ever changing context. That's what I want to bring to your attention. Now, let me a little talk about HR compliance in changing times. I have given a context. Now, what are the compliance mega trends what you see around you? The work, worker, workplace, and I'll add one more W, the well-being. The work, worker, workplace, and well-being structures are undergoing a significant transformation. Growing complexity and uncertainty elevated the need and importance of having focused attention managing compliance. The complexity and uncertainty become a key word today. We call VUCA, and it has created a lot of alert to the stakeholders, and more HR compliance on entire life cycle of employees become more and more prominent today. Emergence of remote working and need to diverse workforce is changing the way HR and the compliance need to be managed in organization. The diverse workforce, not only from gender, ethnicity, nationality, culture, and differently abled people become inevitable in today's organizational diversity agenda. The diversity also bring a lot of compliance challenges associated with that. The gig workers become new norm, and they challenge the compliance and regulatory reforms required in the marketplace. Government and legal landscapes are undergoing massive change, requiring organizations to redesign their policies and compliance structures. Technology shift to suit new normal, redefining HR structures in terms of compliance requirement. So if you really reflect, as I mentioned, the HR responsibility in managing, governing, and securing the intellectual capital, the securing the stakeholders' interest, securing the geographical and climatic changes become more and more prominent. So as a talent professionals, we need to pay enough attention. In fact, when the organizers of this seminar reached out to me to talk about compliance, the first reaction what I had was, oh, compliance, it's going to be a boring topic for me to talk. If it's a digital technology, culture, leadership, skills, HR delivery models, how HR is transforming, it's a very interesting topic. You will get hundreds of speakers to talk about it. But when it comes to compliance, a lot of people shy away from talking about it, and they say it's not my job. There are attorneys and legal counsels who will pay attention to that, and if an escalation come, I will. But my dear friends, I will appeal to you. You are responsible for risk and compliance as a leader in an enterprise. We need to pay attention to the changing context and changing times, and compliance become more and more important. And I will narrate compliance as a intangible assets of an organization like culture, values, and ethics. And if you nurture it very well, it create huge value for an organization. Now moving, what are the HR compliance challenges in multinational organization? Again, I'm not going to get into details. I'm going to talk about major themes so that you can go and reflect and pay enough attention, because we have only 30 minutes. So I will talk about major themes in HR compliance and challenges in multinational organization. The first one, the topic which all of us heard many times, but we never paid enough attention to that, is information security and data confidentiality. As organizations become more and more global, as organizations become more and more virtual, the organizational intellectual property and confidential information is at stake. Lot of breaches in the era of remote working is happening. Data privacy of personal and sensitive information, as we outsource HR, as we offshore HR services, the data privacy is going to be more and more important. The new laws and new regulations will be coming in place in the next few months because of remote working and more cross-border work happening in the marketplace. The second area is diverse work models. As I mentioned earlier, on-demand gig workers, people working from remote places, on-demand resource and agile resourcing become rules of the nature. In fact, in EY, we have a platform called a Gig Now, and we are expecting 20 to 30% of the workforce are going to be gig and contingent. So they raise a lot of challenges in terms of not only data security and confidentiality, but also the employee lifecycle related statutes and compliance when it comes to gig workers. Existence of diverse work models in organizations that requires complex compliant requirement, and that we cannot ignore it. Although technology is enabling remote working and encouraging on-demand gig workers, it also poses phenomenal challenges which we cannot oversee. Diversity and inclusion. Every organization is nurturing diversity when it comes to gender, when it comes to various aspects of diversity. As you bring more and more diverse workforce, you are more and more vulnerable. Don't take vulnerability as a negative word here. I see vulnerability as an accountability concept. When you attract diverse workforce working for you, you are responsible to ensure that they are safe and secured in the workplace, and many complaints and statutes regarding the diverse workforce need to be met. Needs for stronger equal employment opportunities, policies that mitigate any unconscious biases when we engage such a diverse workforce. Workplace harassment and domestic harassment, since people are working from home today, more than workplace harassment, the domestic harassment become more and more require attention. Workplace harassment present a different set of challenges in the way organization treat employment and engagement in the remote setting, cause deep impact on organizational branding and reputation. I have seen leaders losing reputation, organization losing reputation. I always believe attracting and engaging diverse workforce is challenging. More challenging is how do you provide them safe and secure workplace and meet all the complaints related to that. Recently, I have employed LGBT as well as disabled, differently abled people in my team in talent in the organization. I learned a lot. It's not easy to engage and employ. You need to be extra careful to ensure that you are providing them safe, secure, and you are mitigating all the risk and complaints associated with such a diverse workforce. Employing well-being and wealth become more and more important. I'm really scared in today's remote working. Employees are burning out very fast. Their social, psychological, physical, and emotional well-being is challenged. We are sitting on an atom bomb, or we are sitting on a bomb which can explode anytime, and we need to be extra cautious in ensuring that the wellness, the benefits, and security associated with remote working has to be provided, and many more regulations and statutes is going to come in this place. And watch out, and we need to be paying extra attention to that. Global and local laws, because of geopolitical landscape changes, is really phenomenal. I never seen in my 3 decades of talent and uh, business leadership role, the kind of geopolitical landscape changes in the last 1 year or last 6 months is phenomenal. And you will see, because of geopolitical landscape changes, many statutes are going to change in the next several months, and we should be ready for that. Hiring and workforce management, the diverse personas and locations, the new locations are coming to play, and we call it as tier 2 cities and tier 2 cities and remote working. And workforce disruptions, redundancies because of automation, because of business going bankruptcy, the redundancies become more and more inevitable. And we need to ensure that it is not only we are compliant when we make workforce redundant, but also how do you do it with the human touch and with a lot of empathy, which no compliance can replace. Workplace redesign is happening. As I mentioned, today workplace is not defined by 4 walls of an organization. Workplace become more and more virtual and requires a remodeling the workplace to suit the norms of social distancing and the government requirements, how the workplace need to be redesigned. Management of organizational transactions. The mergers and acquisitions are increasing, divestitures are increasing. There are a lot of statutories and complaints regarding mergers and acquisition. After I joined EY in the last 15 months, the number of acquisition I handled, the number of divestitures I handled is phenomenal. So we need to really understand the rules and regulations and complaints around mergers, acquisitions, and divestitures. So these are the challenges we are facing today. And I can keep on going with more examples, but in interest of time, I will next 5 minutes talk about organizational response to these challenges. I talked about context. I talked about challenges. Now I will share how organizations are responding to these challenges. The first one is organizations are creating a lot of awareness among organizational members on data privacy and information security. Today, when we onboard new employees and existing employees need to go for certification every quarter on data privacy and information security. Deploy robust technology that can manage, mitigate data theft or information security leakage. Data loss prevention DLP methodologies are more and more prominent today. Programs that offer a plethora of options for job seekers and employees to choose different work models, on demand gig. We are providing more options, flexible options for people to really overcome some of the social, physical, and mental stress people are going through. Structured framework that covers the various compliance requirements are met very carefully today. Inclusive and transformative leadership. Diversity and inclusion must be the top of the agenda. We started moving from diversity to inclusion to sense of belonging. And sense of belonging is the ultimate where employees feel belong to an enterprise and enterprise feels that employee belongs to that enterprise. Lot of attention has been given to transformative leadership. I define transformative leadership is lead to win, not lead not to lose. So there is a big difference between lead to win and lead not to lose. And programs that enable hiring diverse workforce and promote inclusive culture become the important agenda of many leaders. Policies that prohibit employee discrimination and retaliation. The social equity. I'm representing in EY one of the social equity forums. We are oversensitive today. So how can we provide equity to different class of people, people with a different color, ethnic origin, nationality, and beliefs? How can you provide equity through better employee relations and statutes? Top-down approach with the senior leadership commitment is key in managing HR compliance. We cannot delegate it. As leaders, we need to be accountable for compliance. Zero tolerance policy to workplace harassment become new norm. Developing a comprehensive employee handbook that serves diverse set of populations that requires hybrid policies and procedures. We need to keep our agile HR policies agile and responsive to today's working world. Comprehensive employee benefit program that cover both statutory requirements as well as changing environment like work from home should be met. Employee wellness as a key talent intervention that promotes physical and mental well-being is very, very important today. Track global and local statutory developments and really ensure that you are up to mark and you are catching up with the fast changing local and global regulation. Partner with authorized compliance service providers to ensure that all statutory procedural requirements are fulfilled. Hiring philosophy that depicts equal employment opportunity and organizations started branding around equal employment opportunity. Programs and policies enable hiring diverse workforce become more and more meaningful. Technology enablement in hiring processes and enabling objective selection process become more and more important. Strong return to office plans are being prepared. Post-vaccination era aligned to government guidelines. Workplace redesign to suit to the diverse workforce is being thought about it. Today, as we reopen work, coming back to office, there will be hybrid model, hybrid policies become the rules. So I have covered a plethora of opportunities, challenges, and solutions available. Now I'm very happy to take few questions before we conclude. Let me check we have any questions or if someone can facilitate if any questions which I can't see, I'm very happy to take it. So as you think about questions, I again summarize the entire compliance and statutory risk and how organization respond with 2-3 words. First one, Compliance ethics is an intangible asset of an organization. Every leader should pay enough attention to that, and you cannot separate compliance from your day-to-day job. The compliance should be embedded in whatever you do in the organization. When it comes to values, culture, and compliance, every leader should be walk the talk, and every leader should be role model in today's world. And I believe a good compliance program ensures long-term value creation for organization. Not only you are now mitigating the risk, you are changing the culture and building long-term value for your stakeholders. Yeah, I think we have few questions there. How should companies tackle the compliance challenges in employee performance-based determination? Absolutely, it's a great question. All of us go through challenge. One is the very important thing in employee performance-based determination. You need to define what good look like. You need to really provide all employees clarity on goals. You need to ensure that employees are given constant feedback. The more important is documentation. Ensure that you document performance issues and ensure that employees are aware of the performance issues and given sufficient time to develop herself or himself. So 2 3 words is transparency, defining the accountability, documentation, and once you do it, do not worry, be decisive, do not postpone the decisions. The next one, a great slides on accelerated trends. Is technology biggest trends? How about workforce management? Technology is, if you ask me, is a differentiator, no doubt about it. But after some time, technology become a commodity in an enterprise. What is differentiator in an organization is the culture and unique qualities of the workforce. And a good talent officer should understand the workforce in terms of skills, in terms of will, and ensure that you convert the so-called, sometimes the workforce can be liability if you don't do it. How do you convert that liability into an asset? So two differentiator in any organization, one experience is innovation, leadership, and unique qualities of workforce. What are the top HR tech tools that are today helping companies adhere to global HR compliance? There are many statutory tools are available. Even in EY, we have developed a tool which we sell it to our solution as to our customers, which have really taken care of all the statutes at a county level or a state level or a country level. And we ensure, because most of the time we don't know what are the statutes and what are the expectations around that. So this takes a good inventory and it makes you more smart in terms of meeting this compliance. The last one, with increasing laws and regulation focused on workplace diversity, how should companies after their recruiting and HR policy to keep up to meet strict compliance standards in place today? I already spoke about it. It's exactly one is please ensure that you have a culture of compliance. Nothing can replace culture of compliance. Pay attention to these small programs and policies. Ensure that the accountability is defined at various levels in hierarchy for compliance. So that's what I summarize it. Again, thank you very much for listening to me. My email is available to the organizers. Very happy to keep in touch with you. I'm also available in social media. Thank you and good luck. And play safe and ensure that you continue to take care of your health. Thank you.